Good morning. I just had a nice relaxed morning reading my book and taking the dogs on a walk. Fall is my absolute favorite season. I love when it's a little bit crisp outside. You can smell the leaves in the fresh air, but it's also the perfect cozy reading weather. So, you know, there's a lot to love about fall. Speaking of cozy though, I just got in an order from Brooklinen, who is the sponsor of today's video. I'm going to do a little bit of a bedroom refresh for fall, and I got some new exciting colors. Surprise, surprise, we're going with a shade of green. Let me unwrap this for you so you can see the color a little better. I've been a fan of Brooklinen for such a long time. We sleep in their sheets consistently. I actually have a Brooklinen linen bed sheet set on my bed right now. You might recognize it from the last video I did with them earlier in the spring. It has held up beautifully and just gotten softer with time. But this time I decided to go with cotton sheets, so I got Brooklinen's Luxe Sateen Hardcore Bundle. Brooklinen's Hardcore Bundles are absolutely the best way to go. You get the best value for your money and you get a discount when you buy everything all together. You can get it for any bed size, and it comes with a duvet cover. This is the color Fresh Moss. It's looking a little lighter on camera, but it's this really beautiful, deeper than sage, but kind of sage-y green. You also get a core sheet set, which includes a flat sheet, a fitted sheet, and 2 pillowcases. And you get an extra set of pillowcases. I like to mix and match my colors a little bit here. So for these, I got it in their cream color. But that being said, you can choose to mix and match any of these colors, and Brooklinen has so many different color options. I'll put a few of them on the screen here, so you can really make a sheet set that is unique to you and totally your style, while at the same time great quality and super comfortable. I really like the Luxe Sateen sheets because the way that they're woven, they have a really nice shine to them. You can kind of see on camera, and they're very crisp but also breathable. It's me, my husband, and our 2 dogs in this bed, so it is very hot, but I don't feel overheated with these sheets, so they're very nice and comfortable, and we all love sleeping in them. In addition to the sheets, I also got a quilt this time. It is a 100% cotton quilt. I love the texture of this, and I got it in the cream color as well because I think it'll be the most versatile with all of my different sheet sets. And you can use this as a lighter quilt in the summer months or a layering piece in the fall winter months to make your sheets a little bit warmer. Here is a close-up of my complete set. I love the color scheme we have going on here. Cozy for fall, but also feel like super versatile for year-round. I am going to go pop these in the washer and make myself some breakfast so I can get these on the bed before we head out for the day. Before I do that, I do have a discount code to share with you. Because I'm partnering with Brooklinen, you can click the link in the description of this video and get 15% off of your first order, and I highly recommend checking out all of their bundles and all of their different sheet varieties. That's the way you can get the most value for your money. So if you want your bed to look comfy and cozy and also feel fantastic, definitely check it out. Here is the finished bed. I love the texture of this quilt, and the sheets look so shiny and soft. Can't wait to sleep in them tonight. And look how I perfectly matched the sheets. I would say it wasn't planned, but I have so much green in my closet, it was almost gonna happen regardless. I kept the quilt folded at the bottom of the bed right now because we are hotter sleepers, but I think it'll be really nice when I'm reading at night and don't want to get completely under the covers yet, and I know we're definitely going to be using it in the winter as well. So again, if you want to check Brooklinen out, don't forget to check the link in the description for 15% off of your first order. Not to pat myself on the back, but I timed this perfectly. We have to leave our house right now to go meet up with our friends for lunch. So I'm going to take you along with me. We are in downtown Vancouver. We're going to a place called Tap Union, but then they have an all-vegan food truck called Scratch Breakfast outside. We got the breakfast sandwich with a pretzel bun, the French toast, and the sweet potato hash as a burrito. We only got mushrooms at the farmer's market today, but I wanted to use them for dinner. We got some yellow oyster mushrooms. I never see these in store, but they look really delicious. I'm thinking I'll do a sort of fall twist on my sheet pan gnocchi, just use store-bought gnocchi. And I already have some butternut squash and rosemary I need to use, so we're gonna toss in some beans for protein, and we happen to have some homemade tomato sauce in the fridge as well. So I think I might just lightly toss everything in that, but I am going to roast the mushrooms separate from everything else so they get nice and crispy. I got a really big baking sheet. I'm just gonna start by dumping the gnocchi on there. We'll mix everything up more evenly later. This butternut squash is just so perfectly small and cute. I feel like a lot of times when I get them at the store, they're massive. And then I always end up having to store the leftover squash in my fridge. I had a great time today, but I'm tired, and I think that's why I'm doing everything out of order. De-seeded my squash, and now I'm gonna peel it. Usually I would peel it first, because the squash is definitely easier to hold. I feel like every recipe I see for roasted butternut squash, people peel the skin. But actually in college, I studied abroad in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, for 5 months. And my host mom always made me the most delicious vegetarian dinners every night. She was very accommodating and sweet. And we ate a lot of butternut squash. But one thing I noticed was that she never peeled it. And I'm not sure if that's like a cultural thing. Like I feel like in the US we peel some squash and we don't. But I noticed that she didn't really tend to peel anything. She just kind of washed it off. And the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of odd just because it was new to me. But butternut squash has a really thin skin, and it was delicious and adds extra fiber, so I kind of got used to why it was there. But since it's been so long since I've studied abroad, I've kind of reverted into peeling it again. But I do think it's interesting because like when I cook kabocha squash, I usually leave the peel on, but with a lot of other things I do take the peel off. So if you've ever left the peel on your butternut squash, let me know in the comments below, and tell me where you're from if you're not from the US and you leave it on. I don't know, I feel like sometimes maybe we just do too much with the peeling and cleaning and whatnot, I don't know. I went ahead and drained and rinsed 2 cans of cannellini beans, and they're not completely dry, but I think that will actually be good because usually I make this with tomatoes, which have a lot more moisture, so I think these will help plump up the gnocchi some in the oven. And then for my seasonings, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. Just gonna do that chopped up rosemary plus some garlic powder. Also gonna do some nutritional yeast. As you can see, we buy this in bulk. I feel like this would be really good coating the beans, which is mostly why I'm adding it. Also gonna add a generous sprinkle of salt and some black pepper. And the last thing we're going to do is drizzle this generously with oil, probably use between 2 and 3 tablespoons. Give it a good mix, and we're gonna pop it in the oven. I think I'm just gonna tear these. I usually like to crisp up mushrooms on cast iron, but I have made them on these baking sheets before. They're a little bit heavier. They're the caraway ones. It's a little bit heavier metal, so I think it gets a little hotter. And because it's non-stick, it really helps to crisp things up nicely. So I've made some oyster mushrooms on here before, and they came out nice and crispy. So we're gonna do that method today because it's much more hands-free. They don't need to be all individual. We're just going for some rough chunks. All right, we're gonna be very demure, very mindful with our mushrooms. We're not gonna do too much. I just like to give a little quick spritz of black pepper, a very light dusting of salt. You definitely don't want to do too much on the salt because then the mushrooms will get soggy. And again, we're going to do a very, very light dust of garlic powder. Mushrooms are super oil absorbent. So when I'm roasting them in the oven, instead of using a drizzle, which just like immediately gets absorbed unevenly, I like use a spray. I find that you get a lot more consistent crisping. So we're just gonna give them a nice light spray and a quick toss. And that's all that we're gonna do with our mushrooms. These I think are gonna cook in probably like half the time. So I'm roasting the gnocchi on the top rack of the oven. It's at 420 for 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, I'm gonna move that down and then put these up top and probably cook everything for another 15 to 20 minutes. And then dinner will be ready. Everything is done. We've got our gnocchi and the beans got nice and crispy. The mushrooms shrink so much, I always kind of forget. But you see they kind of like stick to the baking tray and then get caramelized and crispy. So that's very good. And then I just heated up a small amount of sauce just for a little bit of saucy, but not too much. Here's my bowl. I toss everything in a tiny bit of sauce first and then put the mushrooms on top so they stay nice and crispy like Dylan's doing right now. And I also topped my mushrooms off with a little more black pepper and a drizzle of the drizzle.
A drizz of the drizz.
As you can see, the dogs highly approve of the new comfy cozy sheets. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Dylan and I had a pretty relaxed evening. He's downstairs doing the dishes right now, and I am about to get ready for bed and continue reading my book in my comfy bed. Thanks again to Brooklyn for sponsoring this video. If you too want soft and cozy and very comfortable sheets in a wide variety of colors, check them out. I do have the link for 15% off of your first purchase in the description of this video. Lily's really active this evening. I think she's changed positions in this goodbye clip like 10 times. Yeah, you want your booty scratch? 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 Okay, well, I'm going to... Yes, you are beautiful too, Maya. Don't worry. I'm gonna sign off now for real this time. It's been some time with my babies. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Say bye. Bye.